Nitin, sometime in 1995, I suppose October-November issue of the world's top management journal named Harvard Business Review published a path-breaking article titled The Parables of Leadership. I have seen almost all issues at that time as I was doing my research, doctoral research in IIM. And every researcher will first go to, there are about 3,000 journals in IIM Ahmedabad Library, but this is the most preferred. And later I came to know that this was a path-breaking article that ever appeared in Harvard Business Review, because the very article comprised only one page, that too with approximately 10 or 15 sentences, which was followed by 5 Eastern parables. You know, Eastern parables. The entire management philosophy was formed in the West, what I would say the Western mechanical paradigm. And they tried all their best to analyze leadership, close to 50 plus theories of leadership, and almost every management center conducted their training programs in leadership. Thousands of researchers worked on leadership. And such a situation, this article writers, both of them are from East, I suppose. What are their names? Rene Mabon and
Chan Kim.
Stan Kim.
Chan Kim.
Stan Kim, yeah, both are from the East, maybe from Hong Kong or China. Their article followed by 5 Eastern parables. That's very important, and I was so happy to see that finally the West has had to come to the East to get the deeper elements of whatever they have been searching for. Okay? Especially in the fundamentals of life. Of course, mechanical sciences, they are already masters. Because that needs only laboratory where material objects can be controlled and governed, and observations could be done in highly expansive laboratories and all that. But you cannot do that with deeper human elements. Okay? And right now, in the context of discussions on creative analytic thinking, or creative analytic reflection, or creative analysis, we are doing that on the last paragraph of the article, one-page article. Okay, we are doing a creative analysis. What is the first sentence?
The parables that follow show the essential qualities of leadership and the acts that define a leader.
Yeah.
The ability to hear what is left unspoken.
Wait. This we have discussed before.
Yeah.
We are doing a retake to video it.
Yeah.
So they said only 2 things. What is that? Abilities.
Essential qualities.
Essential qualities and acts. Okay. But then when they come to define, it is beginning with ability.
Yeah.
Ability is not a quality. By the concept sense of the word quality, ability is not a quality. So they should have ideally included the abilities, the qualities, and the acts that define a leader. Had they done that, it would have been made much more clearer to the learner in leadership. Okay? Because qualities is a complex thing. It may not be that easy to develop a quality of the mind. Quality here meaning quality of the mind, character. Okay? The kind of attitude, the kind of mindsets, the kind of approaches to the world. Okay? That's what we normally call quality, qualitative analysis and quantitative analysis. But ability, one can develop, see? So they should have included the first thing maybe qualities, secondly abilities, and thirdly the acts. For example, This is the purpose of creative analysis of an idea or a document. Now let us proceed further.
The ability to hear what is left unspoken.
Yeah.
Humility
Humility
is a quality.
is a quality, yes.
Commitment.
Again a quality.
The value of looking at reality from many vantage points.
Yeah. What is the problem you see there?
The value is neither a quality or an act or an ability.
The value of looking at things from different vantage points. So that necessitates the ability to look at different angles about a thing. Okay. When they say the value, that means, that assumes that almost everybody has the capacity to look at things from different vantage points. They don't realize the value. So only the value is important, or looking at things from different angles are important. There I think what has happened is, they did not want to repeat the word ability there. You know? So that is also a problem with writers. They have a little bit of an embarrassment to repeat a word. So they have just changed the word the value. So you understand the value. Okay, I understand the value. But if you don't do that, then a lot of things, the value of which are understood by people, but they don't do it. The value of honesty, everybody knows. The value of integrity, everybody knows. The value of truthfulness, everybody knows, but they don't just do it. But here, looking at things from different vantage points, a lot of people do that, knowingly or unknowingly. Just one painting, 10 audiences. 10 audience will say 10 things about that painting, 10 things about a film, 10 things about a film song, 10 things about a person, 10 things about a political event. Everybody is almost doing that. So they have to specifically say, looking at things from different vantage points and from an analytical perspective. For example, okay, go. Proceed.
The ability to create an organization that draws out unique strengths of every member.
Yeah. What is the critical term there?
The ability to create an organization that draws out the unique strengths of every member.
What is the complexity there? There is a complexity of act. It is an act, okay? It is an act, it is an action, it is an activity.
Yeah.
It is very
The
complex.
ability to do that activity.
What is complicated in that activity?
One is create an organization.
Okay, that let us say a lot of people will be supporting it.
That draws out the unique strengths of every member. For that we need to identify the unique strengths of every member.
Exactly. Unique strengths of everyone. So what is unique? Individually specific, only that person can do, or that group of people can do, or that team alone can do. You know, most of the time individuals are not able to know their own unique strengths.
Yeah.
Then that is the situation of unique strength, which is the so-called leader or leaders have to do that. So it needs a lot of rigorous interaction, lot of interviews, lot of observation of how he or she or they do things, how do they interact, and a lot of rigorous creative observation is required to understand the unique strength of every member. Every member in the upper hierarchy or the middle management. No, every member. So what is the requirement of that leadership ability and mindset and what qualities required? What is the quality required there for a leader in order to do that? Come on.
Observation, interaction, close interaction.
Will these qualities mentioned there, humility, commitment, etc., will help in that? Not necessarily. Alright, proceed.
Then,
Why this is to be, that article should have been 2 pages.
Yeah.
This definition he should have explained, the authors. But they didn't do it, no doubt. Keeping that Eastern tradition, I would say the Zen tradition. Zen does not believe in talking and explaining a lot. But this being a critical definition, they should have. But they might have thought that a similar analysis, which we are planning now, of the 5 parables may reveal those qualities and abilities and perspectives and mindsets to the reader or the potential future leaders. Which we will show the world right now how to do that. Yes. What is the sentence? Next sentence.
These parables provide an occasion for reflecting on the essence of leadership as well as on one's own work and life.
Yeah. One's own work
And life.
and life.
Provide an occasion for
That is where I really appreciate the authors. They are really great people. Evidenced by, in my perspective, the single thing that they included the word life there. Which will cover the span beyond the organizational role of a leader. Most of the leadership programs or most of the concept of leadership is about what they should do in an organization. And their personal aspects are just like that sort of kept apart. Because these parables are not exclusively for organization role. It is about the very life, the very existence, the very qualities and competencies and perspectives required for a state-of-the-art, for a real human level existence. What Abraham Maslow calls, remember we discussed the other day, the 10 attributes of fully functioning person. That's where you are also invited, Nitin, to that domain, that orbit of leadership mindset. So these parables are really great. Now let us go to parable number 1. We are taking only one parable number 1. There are other 4 parables that we will take subsequently. Alright. Now read it with the perspective to do a rigorous creative analysis. We talked about analysis, that every organism, every entity in the universe is doing analysis, including the leaf of a tree or a blade of grass or an earthworm or an amoeba or a cat or a rat or a dog. Okay? Not in the name of English word analysis. Not with paper pencil analysis. That instantly they do it. That's how they locate their food items. That's the way they survive. Without analytical work, survival is impossible. If there is no natural analysis, for example, a little crawling infant, you can actually experiment. On a table, there is a glass, half of it is transparent and half it is covered, opaque. So the baby is crawling, and when it reaches this transparent portion, it will stop. It sees the depth, it stops. Okay? In the so-called experimental psychology, experimental laboratories, they do a lot of behavior of animals, okay, guinea pigs and rats and cockroaches and earthworm and all that. Okay? In all that, they see learning ability. It's all experience on learning. But I see there tremendous power of analysis. Any great learning is possible only out of an analytical mind. What analytical mind? A creative analytical mind. Okay. Creative analysis is When analysis everybody does, your analysis or creative analysis will create new understandings and perspectives and discoveries out of that. It will be impartial, it will be completely covering as much variables as possible. We first investigated the very dictionary meaning of analysis, in which it said that what you call analysis of the elements of a thing or idea, whatever it is. What about the ability, what about the guarantee that all the elements have been separated? Then only it can be examined. In order to identify an element as an element, that requires another analysis, analysis in analysis. That's why, for example, a local crime branch is investigating a murder case and they say no clues. Then 3 people from the CBI comes and they get the clue within 10 hours. Alright? And we examined the analysis of a bird in the construction of the very nest. Okay? That is creative analysis, in fact speaking. From that analysis, the bird can identify which twig is suitable to construct its nest in a given situation. Okay, human beings also do. They go to a textile shop and they do that preliminary analysis and okay, this saree is good, that saree is bad, this saree is this color and that color, and everybody, we decided in the very beginning that every human being is doing analysis almost every moment of interaction or every moment of even sitting alone. That's how they feel depressed at one thought and elated at some other thought. Yeah, so analysis is a very, very critical, ongoing, integral function of every intelligence function. Okay? Or rather every mind. Analysis creates all the attitudes and values and temperaments and choices and decisions and everything. Everyone's action, a criminal's action is based on an analysis, not just an act came out of vacuum. A rapist is doing a lot of analysis. An unethical politician or an unethical organization leader is doing a lot of analysis before he or she or they commit whatever they wanted to act upon.
So how is this different from observation and understanding? Understanding and analysis is...
Understanding is at various levels.
Okay.
So one can be the result of a creative analysis understanding also.
Analysis...
Everybody who reads the Bible or Quran or Gita understands something of that. At the same time, a lot of other learned people say that they do not understand the Bible or Quran or Gita. In which case, the world would have been a much, much better place. Every Sunday, the priest is explaining a certain part of the Bible to a very receptive or at least a select audience standing there silently listening. It has been going on for some last centuries. What difference it has made to the world? I don't know what is happening in the madrasas. There also maybe Quran is explained. And I know people who know by heart every line of Bhagavad Gita. Okay? I have not found out of the 7 or 8, 9 people, of those people, with any basic qualities of integrity and confidence and commitment and dedication. 2 of them were entrepreneurs, owning enterprise. And they all the time talk about Bhagavad Gita. They have at least 2-3 different translations of Bhagavad Gita. One by Chinmayananda, one by Ranganathananda, one by somebody else, and one by some foreigner and all that. So, that they are comprehending. But out of that, which is the result of an analytical understanding. But that analytical understanding did not create a better entity in them. They could not create a Krishna consciousness in them. Even when there are talking programs on Krishna consciousness by ISKCON, International Society of Krishna Consciousness. So that's where we call creative analysis. That analysis leads to creation of the next level of entity in oneself. And we have to do that kind of a creative analytical reading, creative analytical reflection on these parables. Simply reading that parables, when the authors say what the following 5 parables will give, what?
Provide an occasion for reflecting on the essence of leadership. As well
They
as
have used a good word, reflection. Reflect upon meaning, meditate or incubate upon, reflect, go on thinking about it. They at least avoided the word thinking, that's good. Because reflection is a much higher intellectual engine than thinking. Thinking also, like analysis, almost everybody on the road does it. Okay? The rapist commits a murder is a result of thinking only. He has thought about it. But he did not reflect upon it, and which only would have perhaps provided him clues about the consequences for himself or what is what you call the moral, ethical correctness of what he is doing. So, reflection on this parable. What is required is a creative analytical reflection. A lot of people reflect on the Bible and Gita, that I know. That's what they say, I don't know.
always reflection and thinking different.
And they quote it in whatever occasions, in their speeches, in their interpersonal interactions, even with a client after some time they will quote the Bible. Karma, Gita.
How is reflection different from thinking?
Yeah, that's a good question. Thinking is actually what? Just the flow of words, flow of sentences in the inner project or inner engine of what we can roughly differentiate as intellect. There is body, then intelligence, that means just knowledge of everything, data. Then mind, that means emotional, feeling, experiencing aspect. And then the intellect. Intellect is about observation, attention, perception, sensitivity, thinking, projection, conceptualization, okay, imagination, visualization, reconceptualization, etc. Okay. Now, thinking is just a running of thoughts or words and sentences in the mind of a reader or a listener or somebody just sitting on the chair, which is going on in the form of words. Alright? They will be always having words or noise that the person already has had. That's why the researchers and normal people use the word creative thinking. Okay? As a researcher in creativity for 40 years plus, there is no thinking called creative thinking. In the sense that nobody can think about something that they do not know. So, but they use that word for the general population to understand, to explain what the poets do, that what the scriptwriter does, or what an idea writer does, and things like that. For example, you wrote an idea in the Facebook that everybody cannot write. So there should be an explanation. So he is a creative thinker. That's right. But that thinking per se did not create that new idea. It is the reflection of something that you observed. Why so often associated by why it is so. What is it? How is it? That what, why and how of something is normally the direction of our attention or upon a thing or an event or an idea or an experience or a chosen concept or a chosen piece of observation. So it is like a mirror reflection. So reflection will happen, it will go on happening for certain time till till something new is found out. Okay? Thinking may never come out with something new. It will go on in the same gutter. Why it has happened to me, what to do next, I will do this. Only available things. So, for example, I have to give back 40,000 rupees to somebody day after tomorrow. I don't have that money. I am thinking. Okay. what creative thinking is possible. I am thinking how to do, I will think only about available possibilities of making that money. Available possibilities for me. Somebody else may have some other possibilities, which he may come across and he will pay the money. I don't have that possibility, therefore I may not have that option. How can there be creative thinking about that? Not possible. But reflecting upon that will be often just like that, keeping it in mind and never thinking about it and sleeping on it. Yeah. So it is like a mirror reflection. This thing will go on reflecting in the inner self of you. Where, as we discussed some time back, that original self is there. That other agent is there. People say, I left it to God. And I got an answer the next day. I have interviewed more than, totally about 5,000 people, but I interviewed about close to 700 so-called creative people. Because they are reflecting only, when their voice called them, they do not recognize who is coming and calling. Like the stories what we hear about Albert Einstein or somebody like that. If they were thinking, they could hear when she is calling. Evidenced by the fact that everybody is going on thinking. Thinking is all the time there, without our permission, or even when we choose to think about that, precisely that may not happen, something else will come into our mind. It is called a stream of consciousness. Some people may be able to focus their thinking on something, a subject matter which they teach or studied and things like that. That is called thinking. In reflection, ideally there is no thinking, it is just there. Like a young boy just going on looking at the photo of the girl. That's all. What is there to think? Looking at the photo of the beloved girl, most beautiful girl, what is there to think? That is called reflection. But I have seen people go on looking at that photograph. Nothing is there. That is called reflection. But as a result, because it's a live process, there is more emotions happening, more so-called whatever we name as attachment happening, more intense whatever feeling about love is happening. That is the result of reflection. Had he thought about that, there may not be that much of an intensity. A lot of people come across beautiful girls and they feel like loving, then they think about that. Oh, that may not be possible for me. In somebody else's mind, it makes an impression. And that impression lasts. And that impression alone is working. Not thinking that is working. If I marry her, she is this much beautiful, therefore I marry her. And then I will do this, do that. That is thinking. But reflection is just looking at her. Young parents or parents of young children, they go on looking at their child. What is there to think about a little baby? But they don't mind looking at the baby for hours and days together. So that is called reflection.
So while we look at that, some images come and something happens.
Anything is possible in reflection. Reflection is partly related to what so-called meditation or incubation. Something new will happen out of reflection. By the hen's incubation, the egg is opened, hatched. Okay? That is a similar process is called a reflection. Like a mirror reflection, you don't want to, but it is going on reflected. The girl's image is sustaining, lingering in the mind. That is called reflection. In the case of romantic love, that love becomes more and more and more intense. He becomes ready to die for her. By thinking, that won't happen. That's why, as psychologists, if you want to dissuade somebody from an love affair, you will make him think about that. You will give him ideas to think. and the consequences, contradicting thoughts. And everybody is not capable of reflection either. It needs some time. Only certain type of people will have a natural reflection. They are mostly lonely people. They are comfortable with loneliness. They will tend to sit down alone for a long time. They may be extrovert, they may move around with people, but they prefer to be just sitting alone. What is there to think so much for days together? Sitting 1 hour on an average every day, just like that sitting. So that is called reflection.
Because I use this word.
All the great ideologies and philosophies are born out of reflection, not out of thinking. By creative thinking, by thinking you just cannot write poetry and essay and any new article. But by reflection you can. That means keep on that observation in mind. For so you are walking on the road, you see little baby standing alone and crying. In the beginning you may think, who abandoned the child, why the child is there? There are no answers. Okay? You don't know. And you drive past and then that image is lingering in you. And that night you write a poetry about an abandoned child. That's all.
So right now when you are telling this, I have some image of a little girl standing. So what is that?
They are all the results of reflection. All these things are about human beings only, anything. All these engines are available and operating in every human being. That's why creativity researchers say everybody is creative. But that is a wrong statement. It should be everybody has creativity, but they don't use it. When they say everybody is creative, that means everybody is creative, which is impossible and never. There is a normal distribution always. 50% are below normal. Not even normal human entities. Okay? Only about roughly 13% are little bit competent, and only the genius level individuals are 0.03. Yeah. So
this when you told this, I mean, if it is below normal distribution, if that person hears this, however you are explaining, what could be the, I mean, what will be there, how will be they receiving it? So
not clear. Question is not clear.
You said, I mean, everybody is not creative, or
in the sense that they are not able to create anything,
yeah,
including create a new idea.
yeah.
Yes.
So so people who are below that normal distribution, when they hear a thing like this a little girl and then passing on and getting home and writing a poetry at night, all these images are coming into my mind. When you are telling that, there is an image coming of each this thing. So that
in their mind such images would not come when they hear this.
okay.
Even when they see that, nothing happens in their mind. So a reflecting mind, then we will come to that later when we discuss engines of intellect. A reflecting mind is basically a highly sensitive mind, like photosensitive, photo immersion. Yeah. Like it happens to an ordinary guy on the road who comes across a beautiful girl in a temple, and that moment, that image of that girl happens to make an impression on him for various reasons, whatever it be. And that impression sustains there. He cannot escape. And till he see her again, that image is still going on, reflecting. What more? There is no more information, no more, even only a split of a second. Not even her movement is there. Only that split second picture is there. That keeps on working in the mind. And he, let us say, there are so many stories, okay? Actual things. So he loses interest in his studies, he wants to see that girl, he goes to the temple for another 30 days, every day at that time she is not coming, and then he becomes more inspired, he goes to all the temples, he goes to the pujari, asking questions about the girl coming, a green blouse and a red skirt and a yellow, what you call half sari, did you see her, I don't know. you know, all that moment of impression which keep on reflecting, have you seen two mirrors put across? You can see a countless infinite number of reflections.
But with that impression, that with that girl's image, that person will be imagining certain other scenarios where he is going and
That is all
talking.
left to him.
Okay.
But in an actual momentary reflection, what scenarios? I may say, if I marry her, I will keep her like a goddess, I will buy a car for her, what, those kind of silly things. Because there is no scope for that. He has not even seen her fully. Once they meet together, then there are thoughts. There are thoughts available. What he will think, I will buy her a BMW, or I will build a house for her, I will buy a Kanjivaram for her, I will take her to cinema. These are all normal available thoughts only. Even if he thinks about taking her to Mount Everest, it is an available thought only. That is thinking. Reflection part is over.
So where is the point of his judgment that this girl is really the girl who I want to go and meet?
That is a dependent variable. It depends.
Okay.
It can happen anytime. It can happen the very day. It can happen after his first round of search for her. And when she sees her again, if he happens to have a dialogue and if she is approximately possible, then he may start thinking about such possibilities, imagination and things like that.
How is that desire coming?
Desire, now you are putting in another word. That desire is inbuilt. Desire to marry, it is desire to marry somebody. You cannot say desire to marry this girl is just a language usage only. Desire to marry is not a university given or a thing. That's a normal masculine, for that tendency. It is not desire to marry. It is actually speaking the root thing is the sexual instinct only. Desire to marry is a socially available framework. Why they marry? Actually to kiss her, to hug her and finally to have sexual intercourse only. At the root, that is the driving agent, which is colored and dressed up in so many different circles, including romantic poetry and all that.
So what about extramarital affairs people have?
No, that's a totally different question. We will discuss about such things later. Now let us focus on reflecting on the extramarital affair also is like that. Okay, having asked that question. By the way, Nitin, be careful about using all the available words in the society. Okay, use them, but do not use all of them. They have to give some names. Okay? If you are not married and if you are an affair, it is a what affair, I don't know. If you are already married, it is extramarital affair. So there is a social norm that one who is married should not be having an affair. So they use the word extramarital affair, that's all. It is the same process only. The man or woman feels attracted to another man or woman. Because he or she is married, we name it as extramarital, then legal issues, all these things are created. They are all part of, when we analyze it, it's a part of the social structure. By the way, we did not complete another part of the parable, last paragraph. They talk about analysis, elements and the
reflecting on the
structure and the analysis is reflecting, analyzing the structure or
elements.
Elements. There is a third aspect. That is not mentioned in the dictionary, right?
Yeah.
Even the dictionary writers, rather dictionary creators, did not consider that critical aspect of analysis. They say only about analysis of elements and of entities, things or phenomena, or structure of entities, things or phenomena. There is a third critical one. Yeah. which nobody normally does also, which they also did not do. That's why they did not get. Third aspect is, you know what? I asked you a question, what is common for elements and structure? Both of them are about stable things. There's a third thing called a process, ongoing process. To analyze an ongoing process, it requires real creative ability, creative analytical ability. It is easy to analyze a standing Eiffel Tower structure, or the structure of a written document, or the structure of a film or an interaction, or the elements of a chemical salt, or elements of some material thing. But processor, at the time one process is at one stage, the time to the process stage has become different. So analysis of process is equally important, which they don't mention or which nobody has mentioned. Only I talk about it. The whole literature.
So they had mentioned the meaning as detailed examination of elements or structure of something. That was the word.
There should be three: elements, structure, or process.
Of something.
They may assume that elements of a process. And when you look at process, there are no elements. In the way there are elements in a chemical, or in an entity, or in a paragraph, or an idea, or in the very universe, which is made of elements, air, water, space, matter, etc. They are all about constant factors. Whereas in a process, it is ongoing, like a cooking of a cup of tea. So long as the water is in the stove, it is ongoing change. Never stopping.
Is it elements or structure of something or some process you mean? Or is it elements or structure or process of
process.
something?
I want to say process because I appreciate your reflective reconsideration of process. Because I would say even the structure and the thing are in process. I would say entire universe is in process. Entire universe is of process, in process, and by process. Even the so-called piece of diamond is in process. It's quantum mechanics, its subatomic particles are in movement. Yeah. Our interaction is an ongoing process. You cannot go back to 1 second back. The stand of the camera, it looks so stable, but it will remain stable. But there are so many particle processes actually happening inside. Particles are in movement, that's what I said. So process is much more fundamental. Therefore, analysis should be specifically done on processes. Also, not only on structures and systems and contexts and situations and ideas and events. When you look at the process only, we will see the much more greater creativity elements there, creativity aspects there, that we will see right now. You take the parable of the sound of forest. The process only is reality in the thing. Because every one of us is a process, every cell is in process, the heart is in process, the liver is in process, the eye is in data processing. Every moment the universe is in process. Only what I call a creative process perspectively will give you the detailed analysis of a reality. Other analysis of the structure of a building or elements of a program or elements of a problem analysis, elements of problem and all is rather stable. For example, take the parable. Read the first sentence.
Back in the 3rd century AD, the king Savo sent his son, Prince Tai, to the temple.
Wait. Okay, continue.
To the temple to study under the great master Panku.
No. So you can do structural analysis on the sentence, leave it. What are the elements in that?
There is a time
That
period
idea? Okay, there's a time period. Okay.
and there are characters.
Yeah, alright. Okay, good.
And there is a location.
You have to follow a sequential thinking. Before that, you have to say something. There are some actions.
Yeah.
The king sent his son.
Sent
Yeah,
his son.
alright, yeah. Then location is.
Location, and there is under the great master. I don't know what is that.
You talked about people, right?
Yeah.
What kind of people that we will discuss later?
Yes. To study.
They are the elements. Structure
There are
being
two
the structure
actions.
of that sentence only. Yeah.
Okay.
Because you cannot identify the structure of the king sending the son to the forest. But it was a process. See? What were the apparently, what all things are there in the process of king sending the son to the forest? If you look at it as a process, looking at it element, they finished. But what are the elements involved there in that process? That you can think. Possible only if you see it as a process. Because it is an ongoing process. It is not like a, what you call, in the past there was a, what you call moving picture camera. Tuck, 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 one picture after the other. Now there is a continuous activity. It is a continuous activity without a split second gap. Yeah. It is not that the king called the son, come on, son came, go, son went. No, it was not like that. Even then, king asking the son to come. Son has to walk from his room, get dressed up and walk. He has to dress up like a prince. See? All these reflections are possible only from process perspective. Get the point. What elements are going to identify them? Okay. We can tentatively say the king element. Yeah, and the prince element and the master element. They are the characters. Okay. But the king did this, so that kingness becomes important. Okay. Then the prince was sent, so that princeness or the element of princeness is important. Especially when considering the fact that you have sent to a forest. You see, the element of forest is clear. But when you look at the forest from a process perspective, you will see the details of a process forest. You see. It's a wild area.
It's actually temple, sent to the temple.
Temple is not on the boundary of the forest, it must be inside the forest. By the way, why the temple should be much inside the forest, not on the boundary of the forest? Come on, can you see? I am telling you that temple must have been pretty well inside the forest only, not on the very boundary. Why? On one basis I am sure.
In 3rd century, in 3rd century, in that time period, temples could be located in.
No, that's an intelligence-based answer, no. A creative logic-based answer. That's a thought process-based answer. Apply your reflection. Why the temple should necessarily be inside the forest? Not necessarily deep inside, but definitely it must have been invisible from outside. Because there could be temple better to be in the very open ground, other areas. Okay. A temple on the boundary of the forest, what is the advantage of having a forest in the background? It should be surrounded by the forest, then only it is a temple of the forest. Otherwise it is more or less the same as a temple just 1 mile away also. So this is called the reflective process thing. Because you have to see the process involved. Because the people who wanted to have a temple of the forest, okay, there could be a temples other place also, no doubt. Because there is a culture of having temples. Okay, there is already an existing condition or tradition of having temples. Okay. And if there is a concept of a temple in a forest, there is no point in near a forest. It should be inside the forest. Get the point? Because that will be the thought process of that people. So that only justifies the temple in a forest. Are you feeling okay with this?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, now, so, now read the whole first paragraph, then we will begin.
Because Prince Tai was to succeed his father as king, Pan Ku was to teach the boy the basics of being a good ruler. When the prince arrived at the temple, the master sent him alone to the Mingli forest. After 1 year, the prince was to return to the temple to describe the sound of the forest.
Now what is your analysis? Is there something to analyze? Okay, let us begin. By the way, is there something to analyze?
Pretty much straightforward.
Something eligible to be analyzed, something worthy of analysis is there.
It's pretty much straightforward.
First sentence is?
Because Prince Tai was to succeed his father as king.
No, first sentence, don't leave. First sentence.
Back in the 3rd century AD, the king Cao sent his son, Prince Tai, to the temple to study under the great master Pan Ku. Because Prince Tai was to succeed his father as king, Pan Ku was to teach the boy the basics of being a good ruler. When the prince arrived at the temple, the master sent him alone to the Mingli forest. After 1 year, the prince was to return to the temple to describe the sound of the forest.
Okay, you just write down what are the things required to be analyzed. Thinking program is more than the thinking of it. Okay, you are not teaching, you have to write. Otherwise the same thought will be running in a gutter. Once you write it down, that is over. So write down, list down the things that are to be analyzed in that paragraph, number 1 of the paragraph. Give proper title, headline, everything. Pen.
Oh,
You have to develop the habit of writing, okay?
yeah.
I showed you my writing, alright? And that's the case with a very creative person. For what reason, I can explain later. But even without knowing the reason, just do it. That will give a structure to your thinking. And that structure will lead you to the next structure.
Good.
That's it. You should be writing. In the very mind, it is difficult to maintain the structure. By the time the third one, because mind is so stupidly flexible, it will interfere with the first thing and it is very difficult. That's why you write. I told you about one Bharagopal, physics genius.
Yeah, yeah.
He will go on doing like this. So I asked him, what are you doing? I am writing those equations, sir. Without which he cannot proceed.